Boom. Okay, I think we're live. So hello everybody and welcome to the live demonstration of implementing a feature in Godot. Today we'll be trying to implement trading. I've done a little bit of work on this so far, but it's in a certain state where it's very, very experimental right now, but I figured we might as well just go for it and see where we're at. Okay. So, where are we? We have an inventory. Not this inventory. We have two places which has inventory, which is not helpful. We have menus. Trade. Okay. Let's see how this is going. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so I have a very basic trade screen right now, which I essentially, for the tutorial with the inventory, I took the inventory screen and I essentially made it to a column, just like this, with all the slots, and then now I have a screen with two inventories, an exit button, and I'm working on the basics of getting the player inventory and the vendor inventory. Right now I've just placeholdered the player inventory.tres, and I load the same inventory into both. Why is this happening? Oh, this is not what we want. So let's try this trade.tscn. Why is this not working? So what main right now? I think that for me, I find one of the really difficult things with Godot as an IDE is there's so much going on. It's really confusing. I have all the different elements here. I have all the different elements here. It's hard to see where I am. So menus, inventory.gd. Why is this complaining? So here we do 9-patch rect, grid container. This is inventory.good. This is what we want. Root trade player inventory. What the hell is going on here? Oh, it's because I copied it. Why are we getting a null pointer? What the hell? Okay. So I have attach script. Is this what's wrong with it? Trade.tcn. This is not a good start, is it? This is a terrible start. Why is it calling this? That's why I'm so confused right now. So we have trade.tcn. We have two inventories. We have an inventory here. Oh, okay. This is where it is. So we need to do center container here. Center container. Let's save that and try run that. Okay, cool. So that actually works now. And this isn't loading the inventory, which is strange because I'm almost certain it was loading the inventory yesterday. So let's see why. So we have player inventory, we have vendor inventory. We do player inventory.load, vendor inventory.load, and we load the resource, which seems fine. intensity is getting a little bit too much. Right, let's find out what is going on here. So create instance, orchestrating a GD script instance. Let's just try the actual game and see if the game still works. Okay, so the game still works. That's good. It's just the trade screen that's broken, which I think we're okay with that. Right, let's have a little look. So why is this not loading in the inventory? So we init, we get temp, player inventory.load, event inventory.load. Is there any way I can see what this node actually is? So inventory.good here. Let's just do a debug thing here. Let's just go from the basics down. Why does it not work? Okay, we didn't hit here, which is very strange because seems like the screen and it seems like its script is not the correct one. Clear, and let's do this. It's a very strange issue. I think it's because I copied and pasted the I think it's because I copied and pasted the screen. Okay, it's still not done it. That's really weird. Is that because I have not loaded Right. Let's. I'm just wondering right now if the node has not been initialized, and I'm calling these functions on the node, because here we've got onReady, which usually means it waits for the children to be ready, or it guarantees that the children are ready before it kind of assigns this variable. But if I'm doing it in the init, these might not be initialized before I'm calling the load function. This is strange because I felt like I had this working yesterday, but let's just try this and see if this works. So I'm also getting a error constructing a GD script instance, which is strange. Okay, so it's still not loading, which is really weird. Let me see if I've got the trade screen on here. No, I haven't. Okay. This is so bizarre because I feel like yesterday I had this loading both inventories. So for anybody watching, what should be happening is I have a player inventory here, which is called temp.inv, and it's just an inventory with just some items in just to have some data there. So if I go into here, we have player inventory.tres, which is like this file here. A resource player inventory with an array of 15, and then I have just some items in here just to test it. So when in the actual game, we can load the player inventory. And in the trade, because the trade screen is essentially two inventories. It's the player inventory and it's going to be the vendor inventory. And so when we initialize the trade screen, we need to pass two inventories. We actually need to pass a little bit more than the inventories, because the trade involves adding and subtracting gold, which might be part of the inventory. But right now, it's not part of the inventory structure. It's part of the actual character. Maybe it should be part of the inventory though, the gold. But I wouldn't really. I wouldn't have thought it was part of the inventory. But anyway, we create a temporary inventory from the player, and then I'm just loading both in it. But why is it not working? That's the question. So print. Let's just do one. Let's add some traces in. It's definitely got to be getting to there, right? Create instance. Let's just Google what this is saying. It's saying most likely there's something wrong with the script. Let's have a look. So go to this. We have trade.good. The script that's the correct one. What slot is slot correct? Menus, inventory. Okay. So I copied and pasted these nodes, and they are put into the wrong script. Let's go into it, I think. So that one's okay. Error constructing GD script instance. One second. As we preload. Right, let's just try to. God, all these chickens need to go somewhere correctly. So there's chickens in here, there's sheep, and then I'm going to add a trade screen into the actual game. Just to see if I can get it to work this way. So it's like that. Okay, there's a lot going on here. So the pause is off, the inventory needs to go off, the trade screen should show. So if I start the actual game, what's the trade screen doing? Okay. Why is it not spelling items? Start button pressed. Error constructing a GD script instance. What the hell is this error? Oh, okay. I see. I think I found what it is. Everyone's curious because that's the problem. The editor can't pass a parameter when it calls new when is creating an instance of your class. Give the parameter a default value. Okay. So that would be why it wasn't working yesterday. It's probably because I removed these here. So let me just use null, right? That's the worst error message known to man. It could at least, when it says error constructing a GD script instance, it could at least give you what file it's in. Right, let's try this and see if this works now. Non-existent function load in base nil. Okay, but we hit 1. Okay. Let's just do ready and take this out. We don't need this right now. We can figure this out later. So this should work. Okay, cool, it does. So, a little bit of progress. Oh, and it actually deletes it. The exit button works now as well. Praise the Lord. Just check something. Nice. Edit. Okay, so we have an inventory screen now. This is going to be fun. Okay, so I guess part of the problem that I'm thinking right now is that we have these on ready with these player inventories. I'm just thinking we kind of need to programmatically load these, which is kind of what I tried to do here. We could budget in a certain way. So the thing that I'm thinking right now is that we have essentially two inventory screens. We're going to have a buy and we're going to have a sell on the actual slot button itself. And there's no hover over. I need to create those buttons. So we have a delete button. That's not what we want. There's also some tricky thing here where it takes your mouse input. So we want to ignore the mouse input here. And I believe here we want to ignore the mouse input as well. I think it might be a good idea to have it default to ignore the mouse button. Player inventory. Right, so trade. This needs to ignore the mouse. The button doesn't ignore the mouse. The player inventory. This probably needs to, if in doubt, ignore. This is also doing a bunch of stuff that might have to be ignored. Let's just see if that works actually. Okay, nice. So it's not, the mouse is working now, so we can actually, okay, if we delete and we delete for both inventories, which is not what we want, but that's okay. We kind of expect that to happen. Slots. Okay. So inventory. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. Trade, we delete this. Okay. I think sometimes you just have to do the bodgiest of the bodgists. So essentially, what I'm trying to do right now is we have a button. And the main idea for the screen is that you hover over an item, and if you're the player, it will say sell. If it's the vendor, it will say buy. And so, because I'm reusing the two inventories, I need a way of distinguishing if it should have a buy icon or if it should have a sell icon. I mean, it could be the same icon over and over again, actually. Now that I think about it. I feel like I did change the icon. Oh, don't tell me it's like reusing a different thing. Okay, so we have the button here, so it should be using this. Oh. Geez, you think just copying and pasting a thing would be easy. Right? Okay. So it looks like when I duplicated the inventory, it's using the slots that are assigned with the old one. So I think I need to rename all these to a completely different things. So trade slot. Did that work? Yep. Okay. So essentially I need to remove all of these. Reset the slot index. Oh lord. Okay. So let's do. Yeah, I think we're okay with that. Let's just double check that this is connected to. Let's rename this to trade slots. That's connected to the right script. Okay. Inventory. Let's start adding them. I think it was. Hey. Oh, it's going all over the place. Let's just copy. I think it was 15, was it? Cool. The button should not be visible unless we're hovered over. I'll fix that in a second. And then I think I need to change the slot indexes. Oh, Lord. This is the glamour of programming right here. Okay. 10. 11. 12. So we've got 12 slots. Let's see if it's broken. Okay, it's not broken. I mean, the buttons are a little bit broken, but I'm okay with that. And the buttons are always set to visible. That's fine. Okay. So, what I need to do now is go to trade slot. It's set the button, rename this to be trade button, I guess. Yep. Trade button. Just check the GD script check it's okay. Delete button, this will be trade button now. Okay. Delete buttons, not in scope. Oh, that's a big error message. We don't want that. This is all the code that I copied just from the actual trade thing, where essentially it updates it and I've deleted this bit. I'm traded. I don't know if I really need this message anymore, but I will have to change this in a second to actually trade. Right, I'm just getting the UI kind of sorted. So let's have a look where we're at. Okay, so the button's still showing, which is not what I wanted. Okay, that's because I didn't set it to visible. Okay. Nope, wrong one. Trade.tcn, tscn. Why the hell is this icon still showing? This should not be showing. It's trade slot. So the trade button is hidden. Okay. If no item deleted. Trade button visible equals false. Trade button visible equals true. Did I change this? Oh, okay. Okay, so I must copied this at the wrong time. Okay, so now, right now, this is actually working correctly. It's just not exactly what we want. It's because the button's always visible. We don't want that. We want the button to show and hide, essentially. So, Let's add that in. For that, we're going to need a area 2D. We move that up to the top. We need to add a collision item to this. So that'll be collision. A square. I'm just going to use a collision thing just so we know if the mouse is hovering over it. Let me check if this isn't messing with the mouse. Filter. I think we want that to ignore. So collision shape. And then in the area 2D, we want mouse entered. And then we want mouse exited. If the mouse entered, we want the trade button dot visible. Visible equals true. And then here we want it to be false. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so that kind of works. It's just defaults to showing it. Seems to be quite an easy fix. So trade slot, all good. Oh yeah. Okay. So if has item. Okay. So in the trade slot, I want a var which goes var has item bool equals false. We essentially just want a record of does this slot have an item. So when we update it, we want to do if there's no item, has item equals false. Otherwise, has item equals true. And then we only want to show the sell button if has item. Cool. Okay. Right. 1 second. Let me have a tea break. It's going to complain because I haven't added void. This is the one problem with static type and everything is you have to just. I wish it would automatically generate these statically typed these types when you generate the function. Kind of, I just feel like it does half the job for you when it generates the function, but it doesn't actually. Okay, right. So this should look kind of okay right now. We have 2 inventories, and it's the same inventory because it's meant to be the same inventory. That's okay. We have 2 inventories, and then we have a sell button or a buy button, depending on how you want to look at it. The sell button and the buy. The coin moves around, which is a theme issue. So if we go here, trade button, theme overrides. If we go to styles, if I do here, this, that will fix that. Oh. Okay. So I think the UI should be kind of okay right now. There is a few issues. The one issue. Cool. That's okay. One thing with this UI is we do need to see how much gold the player and the vendor has. If I just move this like down a little bit, I can just put 2 labels on there for now. That should be the easiest thing to do. Which text label? Give it the theme so it looks okay. still looks terrible, but okay. Gold. Let's make the font a little bit smaller. The problem is because this is all pixel art, it's very, very small. This whole screen's actually really, really small, and so because it's upscaled, sometimes things don't play very well with that. So sometimes fonts don't play very well. So let's just move this here. So we've got gold, player gold label, and then we're going to duplicate this and have a vendor gold label. Good thing I could. It's not a good thing. I can't type. Gold. Okay, so we've got two labels there. Gold. Okay. So let's have a little look how this looks. And once this is done, at least we'll be kind of happy with the UI, even though it's just gonna be a question of the actual data then, which won't be too bad, I think. But so we have gold. Okay, that's just a placeholder. Okay, right. So trade. Let's do func process delta. Let's say float. I think this is definitely a poor thing is using the process function to handle the text, but let's just do it. So we're gonna need a player gold label, which is a rich text label. Rich text label is going to be that. It's going to be vendor gold label. It's going to be vendor gold label. Okay. I mean, at this point, yeah, this is where we're going to need the data, but there's a few ways of approaching doing the data. We can either do it properly, which is the ideal way if we knew what we were doing, or we just do it in the best way that we think we can right now, and kind of see how that goes, see how that works out, and then if something arises where we need to change that, then we'll do that. So, vendor gold label. We need to get the gold from somewhere, essentially. Okay. So, the player gold is easy because in my player entity, I think I just have a variable for the gold, which is not a good way of doing things, but I kind of did it like that on purpose just to get the data somewhere. So I'm not trying to think too far ahead into the future. I just think, what do I need right now? And all I need right now is I need a variable with gold. And I also need a vendor. So, okay. So I have the screen, which is good. The screen's fine. What I need is a vendor entity to start a trade with. I need a vendor inventory so that they have some items, and then I need code to essentially buy and sell to a vendor, sell from your inventory and buy from their inventory. I think that's all I actually really need right now. It's not necessarily even just sell. Maybe it's just trade in general. But I think there's different ways of handling that. But let's see. So one thing I know I need is an entity for a vendor, and let's create that. And to anyone who's watching, this is where abstractions actually really start to come in, because I have a bunch of different entities here. I have like the fisherman, I have the player, and they all have different needs and different code. But now it's getting to the point where, okay, I'm adding in multiple different people now. I'm adding in a fisherman, I'm adding in a player, I'm adding in cats and chickens and dogs. I can't keep copying and pasting the code. I need to start abstracting this. But I'm kind of just leaving it off right now until I really understand, essentially, the composition and the inheritance side, because I'm really kind of in two minds. I see a lot of people talking about composition and stuff like that, and that's cool, but I can't say that I really like it. Like I've played around with different components and stuff, and I like it in some ways, but I also feel like I just feel like inheritance works a little bit better. But the problem with inheritance is you can only inherit from one thing, whereas with composition you can have a whole bunch of different features and mix and match them, and so depending on the functionality, you might go down one road or the other, but I guess it ultimately depends on how you want to structure them. Just put on right. I'm scared to play. Oh, okay, cool. Apparently this is copyright free. Huh? Oh, okay. Damn, that sounds like the most stereotypical stream music ever. Right, okay. So I'm creating a vendor, and anyone who's watching, I started making a trade screen. Let's see if I can open it. Okay, I've made a very simple trade screen with two inventories. They currently have the same data in both, so the data is all kind of not finished yet. I've just done the UI, but I'm at the point where I have a player inventory, I need a vendor inventory, and I need a vendor, essentially. And by vendor, I just mean some sort of object that has an inventory and you could trade with. Like the actual character will probably be a little bit different. I have an idea for the character. So first, let me just create an entity. We're going to call him Cactus Jack. What is the convention for folders? I'm guessing it's just underscore. What's this? Okay, yeah, player gold label. We will ignore this right now. So Cactus Jack, let's create. Let's see what I use for fisherman. See here for NPC, I used character body 2D. I believe that's if they need the difference between a character body 2D and area 2D. I think it's if they need to move, right? Character body 2D versus area 2D. Area 2D is not a body type. There's area 2D for an NPC. Okay, so area 2D. Play the area 2D or character body 2D. Sounds interesting. The physics interactions like collisions and such, character body 2D. Do you need to check if the character overlaps something area 2D? Do you need both? Okay, we're making area 2D. Let's see if the fisherman... There's a lot of issues with everything that I've wrote right now. But that's okay. So we're going to need a character body 2D. call it Cactus Jack. We'll just call it based off his name. Yo, Adam, is your NPC going to be walking around the world? One day. One day, but is he going to be coded right now to walk around? Probably not. I'll give you an example of what I actually want for this NPC, so you have an idea of what I want. So if I close that, obviously my character's spawned really far away. But essentially, I have a fisherman here, which was just kind of me playing around, and this is also me kind of playing around. But I have a farm, and I want a farmer, and the first quest is going to be, there are some chickens dotted around the map. And he'll say you want a quest to go get the chickens. You collect the chickens, they'll go into your inventory, and you trade with him. So right now, I'm not planning on him to walk around, but I would want some sort of patrol at some point, or at least, you know, same with all these sheep and chickens. I'd kind of want them to move around a little bit, just to kind of make it not so static, but it's just one of those things. So if we go into Cactus Jack, God, I've not made an NPC in a while. What's it complaining about? Collision shape. But yeah, I saw mixed things. I think I started off making everything a character 2D, but then I think I saw some things where like, oh, it's maybe better as an area 2D, so I kind of tried both. So maybe the best thing would be making an UI interface area 2D, and then add as a child the NPC would be a character. Yeah, making a UI interface area 2D node and add that. When you say area 2D node, do you mean kind of as like a patrol area? Or what do you mean by that? Okay. While we're doing that, let's add a shape. Oh, I also have no texture for the guy, which is... Oh, I don't think I have a texture for him. Oh, I'm sure I have a texture somewhere, but it's not going to be nice. Let's have a look. Ninja Adventure's got loads. Let's have a look. Actor. Ooh, characters. Flam. Okay, he's definitely pretty flammy. Sprite sheet. Ooh, a monk. Damn, okay, I quite like that. Let's add an animated sprite. Oh, okay. So basically you would have collisions around the character body, and when you enter, have that pull up in an active overlay. Yeah, I'm with you. Actually, if I go into if I show you what I've got so far in the world, I do have a few things like that right here. So with the fisherman, yeah, that's kind of what I've got with the fisherman, essentially. The fisherman starts a minigame. I got the the carrots should also have it. And also the player has a bunch of area 2Ds. Like if you could... Yeah, I have a bunch of collision stuff everywhere, but yeah, I'm at that kind of the point right now where I've got this fisherman guy, I've got my character, and essentially I'm going to be putting in like 20 NPCs. And so it's just how do I kind of structure everything so I'm not just copying and pasting stuff loads and loads. Because in the fisherman, I've essentially hard-coded everything. I did it in kind of a bad way. And so, you know, there's kind of a lot to think about. Especially when you want to like scale this out a little bit. So I want to be able to make 20 NPCs. Some of them you can trade, some of them you can interact with. I just have to really think about how you interact and the different sorts of interactions and stuff like that. It's one of the things that's like constantly in my mind right now. Yeah, thank you for the for telling me though. The thing is, it's best to work on the nodes of the functions. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know how much you saw, Adam. So far, what I've got for the trade screen, and I've kind of bodged this to make it work a little bit. Be a 2D node, okay, that you just add to anything. Oh, so you talk about like a composition, essentially. Like having, I don't know, like a vendor component or something that you can add to anything, and then when you do it, it would, yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking as well. So I've played a little bit around with components, but it's a little bit. I was still trying to wrap my head around it a little bit, you know. But that's kind of the idea right now. I've got a generic trade screen that, you know, you'd pass in like the player, vendor. This is like what I would want to do in my head: player, vendor, NPC, vendor, and then it will you know, load up the player inventory here, the vendor inventory here, and then this is a generic thing that's reused everywhere. It's just, you know, when there's like 20 things to do at one time. It's like you fix one thing, and then you've got to fix 5 other things, and then you realise that everything else is just really poorly coded, and so you've got to change everything. It's, time just disappears. But I think what I'm working on right now, and this might be interesting to you, is I followed a tutorial for the data side, like creating inventories out of resources, stuff like that. And so right now this is quite straightforward to me in terms of I've got a player inventory, and then I think I could just create a resource here for a vendor inventory, I believe. So if I do save, okay, vendor inventory. This is just a, you know, or Cactus Jack inventory or whatever. Cactus. I'm gonna hate that I called him that. Cactus Jack inventory. Okay. This is the thing. You follow a tutorial. The tutorial's great, and then you end up, you know, where's the tutorial now? It's like a let's have a look. Inventory. CJ, yeah, you're smarter than me, Adam. So let me just give Cactus Jack some inventories, some inventory items. So even this, it's like there's so many different ways that I could handle. It feels a bit weird that I have to create a resource for each character. In like how I would want to do this in like a perfect world is I have like a JSON file with like their name, their inventory items, and then I generate all these resources out of that. So I just can kind of go through and I don't have to mess around with each individual thing. With the inventory, maybe to create 2 different ones, one static and one dynamic. Okay, I'm assuming you mean the static one is the player inventory? Oh, can you explain that a little bit? Right. So Cactus Jack needs 15 inventory spaces, and then we'll give him. That's 15, isn't it? Yep. And items, we'll just give him. Ooh, we'll give him some eggs. Yes. Okay. Okay. Cactus Jack has some eggs. Hopefully, I've not tested the eggs. Let me just bodge in Cactus Jack's inventory here. Temp inf, CJ inf. Cool. So we have CJ inf. So this should at least have 2 separate inventories, which is a good start. Okay, cool. Nice. Damn, the eggs look actually quite cool. I like that. So essentially the static ones will be set ones will always be the same. They create dynamic ones they could use. They pull random data for Chesley. Okay. So essentially the static one will be set ones that will always be the same. Yeah. They create dynamic ones they could use to pull random data. Oh, I know what you mean. So yeah, so essentially here, instead of creating a resource file, I could just generate something from inventory.good and it can have random things in, right? Which, yeah, that would be cool for chests, yeah. The thing for Cactus Jack, is the idea is it's like an actual vendor in the game, so he will have set items, or at least he will have like persistent items, and then if you trade it, because with resources you can save and load. That's not something that I've got into yet, but I believe that's one of the good things, isn't it? Okay, yeah, and then dynamic, yeah, we could do that as well. That's a cool thing. Like I'm still kind of working out the fundamentals of the game mechanics, so. If you're interested, Adam, I don't know how much you've seen of the game I've been working on, essentially. But I have this kind of like overworld RPG game, and I have kind of plans for like quests and gold and levels and stuff like that. And then I have, oh god, that might be quite loud. Sorry if that's super loud. You have to tell me if it's too loud. And then I have like a vampire survivor part here. I shouldn't be moving, but okay. So I want to combine Vampire Survivors with RPG, but it's how do those two game mechanics meet? So Vampire Survivors, like, what do you do here? Do you kill everything and then you go back to the RPG and you get gold? Or in the RPG, do you get gold that gives you items that makes this easier? So it's like, how do these two... I just don't want two separate things that kind of happen to coexist. I kind of want... Players can either work on the RPG bit and do quests to progress, but they can also... go in here and, do a bit more of a Vampire Survivors thing and then get some, like, either gold or XP out of it, but I'm trying to work out. Have I thought about procedural generations? Yes, but if I'm doing Vampire Survivors, I think one of the Vampire Survivors, one of the good things about doing that is it's just like a blank background, isn't it? The interesting thing with Vampire Survivors is how you load the enemies, and so I don't know if I'll do any sort of like algorithmic generation for enemies, because I think you're gonna have to like tailor what enemies come through and how strong they are, what's the kind of difficulty curve. So I think I might just have to hard code, like, not necessarily hard code, but I'll have to kind of really be in control of, at these points, these sort of enemies come through, and then after this certain time, these sort of enemies come through. But I think that's something that's going to be tweaked a lot. But yeah, procedural generation's cool. But I'm also happy that I can avoid it, because I think doing procedural generation, it'll open up a load of different things. With Vampire Survivors, it's quite simple, if you know what I mean. Okay, so we've got TempInv, we've got CJInv. Very cool. What I also need to do is add in the actual buying and selling to these goddamn things. So we have a button, and right now all this button does is it actually deletes it from the inventory. We can do that for both. It's got a load. We've got updates, which is okay. Open close toggle. Inventory change connect updates. Okay. So what I have right now is, because the button is on the slot, I have a signal here. Is button pressed. I have a signal, and the signal will propagate up to the inventory to say something has been traded. Okay, so we update null. Let's update. That's fine. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to handle the trading between the two inventories right now. Let me have a look. So on the button pressed, we have a signal, and this is because I copied it from the other one. We have a signal called item deleted, but that's not what we want. We want item traded. Is the item a child of the slot? No. The item is it's not a child of the slot. No, the slot is just kind of represents the item, if that makes sense. So when the slot has an update function, we pass it an inventory item, and this is how this was in the tutorial. And so yeah, it's not a child of the slot. It's just a reference essentially. So with the slot, we have item deleted. That's not going to be item deleted. It's going to be item traded. There's going to be a few things here. But the thing is, because of how it's all structured, when it's one inventory, it's okay. But here, this is something that I'm trying to think right now, is how do we know which one's the player and which one's the vendor? And the simplest way I can think of doing that is by just saying, because the player inventory is generic, inventory dot, set player. Set is player. This is going to be the jankiest thing ever, but var is Is this what I want? Do I want this? Do I even need this? All I need to know is they've clicked on a slot to either sell or buy an item. So there's two options there. There's buy or sell. So we need to differentiate. Is this buying or selling? Does that mean anything? Okay. So we have two inventories. When they click a button, we essentially have to trade. We have to pull that item and send it to the other inventory. The problem is, so I have three. We have three scenes here. We have the trade screen, we have the individual inventory screen, and then we have the slots. It's only the trade screen that knows about the other inventory. So we're gonna need some way of, when the button is clicked within the slot, it propagates up to the trade screen, and the trade screen can then essentially manage sending it to the other array, unless I pass it through or something like that. But right now I'm just trying to, for better or for worse, get something down, and then through the process we can kind of refine it a little bit once I've got my head around exactly what's going on. So the trade slot. Okay, so we have item deleted. Isn't help that I've got all this stuff here. Right, item deleted. Item traded. Okay, we passed back. We've got an index, so signal item traded. I automatically delete the item from the slot, which is not necessarily what I want to do. because the trade could fail, right? You can have enough money. Right, let's not worry about that right now. So item traded. Then inventory. We connect up here to the index. Okay. I don't actually need any of these for the trade inventory. Let's delete that, just make it a bit clearer. So it is open, we don't need that either. We've got some slots, we've got inventory ball. So, we load the inventory, and we populate all the slots. We hook up to those slots to say item deleted, which would now be item traded. Oh. The game opened. That wasn't what I wanted. And we call inventory.delete index. So I guess there's a few ways that I could do this right now, right? Which is this huge trade screen has both inventories. I can either pass the opposite inventory through, or I just hook up everything to a signal and bring everything up to the very first screen, and then that manages the trading. I kind of like prefer the latter one. I think the first one would be a bit more easy because I could just pass all the data through everything, and everything can know about everything and handle it. Or I handle everything in this trade screen, and I just have to use like clever use of signals essentially. Which I don't know the good practices or bad practices about Godot, to be honest. But so say for example, if I do signal, can I just propagate up item deleted, and we'll just copy this right now. So item traded. Let's go to here. Signal item traded, and let's just do. Let's do something weird. Right, so Funk, propagate. Then we're going to do index int. I feel like this is a really bad thing, but let's just try it. Emit item traded. Index. No, sorry. It's I'm traded dot emit. Okay. And here we're literally just gonna propagate it. I feel like this is. I think there's a lot better ways to do it, but let's go with the janky way first, and then we can see what's doing it. So I think the signals would be better because if you had in use case for items such as eat, drink, you'd have the system signals open. So one thing to consider here, Adam, is I have two inventories, and this is like maybe a little bit confusing. So I have the inventory here. If I open up the game, be a bit more clearer. But I also have a trade inventory, which they have similarities, but they're a little bit different, and they look a little bit different. So the trade inventory is really, oh god, I'm clicking everywhere. It's really just within the scope of a trade, so I don't need to worry about eating and drinking. But you are right in terms of here. Right now, this only deletes, but yeah, we could add or... There's also a really interesting thing, which is... And I've not thought about this too much, right? Oh, fuck's sake. Oh, sorry, excuse my language. Okay. So right now, this is the normal inventory. I can delete from here. I can actually pick things up as well. So I have done a little bit of work. A little bit. So yeah, cool. We can pick things up and stuff. Or we can delete from it. But the thing that I am thinking about is, if you're a player, what about if you use a controller? So right now it's quite cool. You can click on stuff. That's I like that, but what about if you're using a controller? And so I really just have to think about how would a player like work with this. Is this a mouse one, or is this like a WASD, or is it more like a click thing? Apart from the inventory, we're not really clicking around, so, you know. The problem is, what you decide about that is just going to change everything. And so you might just have to completely redo, you know, if you use a controller, we'll open up like a little drop-down menu where it says use, remove, eat, or, you know, do you have a little bar at the bottom where you can select things, drag and drop. So many things that could change everything that's been done so far, and that's kind of like the crazy thing. So hello Rizlord, you okay? Nice name, I've seen you around a little bit. Okay. Right, oh yeah, we were doing the great signal propagation, weren't we? I think I'm gonna coin that as, I'm gonna write a book on Godot patterns. The first one's gonna be called The Great Signal Propagation, which is where you just keep emitting the signal up until it gets somewhere where you can actually use it. Right, so I'm traded, so that goes from the slot, it then goes into the inventory. Inventory change.connect updates. We're okay with that. That just updates. Yeah. How long have you guys been using Godot, by the way? Just out of interest. So the slot item traded connect that propagates up. So in trade, we should be able to do. Oh yes, okay. Player inventory. Dot item traded dot connect. It worked. The great signal propagation works every single time. Just if you can't figure something out, just send signals until you can. Right, func handle trade. Right, and this is going to have an item index. Right, index. Or handle, let's do it very, very simple right now. We'll make a function for selling, or we'll make a function for buying, so we don't try to do everything in one place. Index. So the mic's in the way of my keyboard a little bit, it's kind of throwing me off. So handle sell, right. Okay, so we'll have a signal from the player inventory when the button's been clicked to sell, which is nice, right? That's good. That's exactly what we want. So let's just do var. Let's do it really shorthand right now, just so I can do it quite quickly. It's going to be an inventory. Let's keep track of the inventories that we've got. Like that. I just switched over from Unity, but I'm relatively new to game dev. Have a limited background in software development though, but my career is mostly in education. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I've not really used Unity too much. By accident, I got into Godot. Because I think I played Brotato, and I'm a software developer. I was teaching a little bit before, but I'm a software developer. My language is Golang, and we call it Go. And when I saw Brotato, and it was like, oh, this is made in Godot, I thought Godot was actually made in Golang, and so I downloaded it thinking, oh, I code in Golang, like there's an engine that uses it, and then I found out it's actually nothing to do with Go, and so I kind of just accidentally fell into it. But yeah, I'm kind of just going through the process now of making a game for 200 hours, and let's see how far I am. We can actually see how far I am right now on the 200 hours thing. It's crazy. Things go like, you think 200 hours is a long, it's hard to tell if it's a short or a long time, because time just seems to like go by, and you feel like you've done nothing. And it's like, wow, I spent the past 35 hours making a farm and just writing really bad code. So it's like, nice, yeah. My language for a long time was Java. Back when I was I played a lot of RuneScape, and so I liked a lot of RuneScape private servers and stuff, and so I coded Java for a long time. But I haven't touched it in quite a while. So same with C#. I did a little bit in C#. Nice, Adam. Yeah, you can tell you're a good man when you play RuneScape. Have you been watching much of the leagues thing? Right, it's a handle cell. Oh wow, okay, old school. Yeah, I played for like 2004, and then maybe like the past few years I was playing an Iron Man in old school RS. I got quite far with that, but I got a little bit burnt out playing the whole Iron Man thing. It's fun. I pick it up every now and again, but I kind of tend to not play it too much. Right, so handle sell and handle buy. Let's just start padding this stuff out. Player inventory. Let's just hook up the signals and get these functions. Vendor inventory. Dot item traded connect handle buy handle sell. And so we have an index here. So what we want to do is we want to go p inv equals. We're going to load these inventories here so that we have a reference to them. This might be the worst code you've ever seen, Adam, so don't start bullying me, please. Handle sell, handle buy. So sometimes I keep wanting to get back into it, but it doesn't hit the same maxed RS and old school. Yeah, I guess if you're maxed in RS3 and old school, yeah, it's not really much else you can do at that point, is there? Yeah, I've been watching Wooks for like the past 3 days. Like, there's just something so incredible about watching Wooks. Like, just eating bread and sausages. I don't know, it's nice. Okay, so handle by index. Got this. We know the index of what we want to do. So we need to do player inv dot delete index. Then we want to do vendor inv dot insert. Fuck, I need the item. I need to stop swearing. Right. This is this inventory.gd. I need to expand on this a little bit more, because right now I've got insert, I've got delete, I've got delete index. We need to, I think when we delete the item, I don't know if I should return the item or if I should have a separate function. So let's just make a separate function. Open to modification. No, open to expansion, not modification. So let's do remove index. And we pass. It's going to be basically the same as this here. So remove index, pass to an index. Inventory item. So if it's null, we return null. Wait, hold on. Otherwise, we do inventory changed. We do item equals no items. Yeah, I don't know what you guys think about the naming conventions of Godot, because that's, I feel like I've wrote 3 different naming conventions so far. I feel like there isn't really like a very strict. Like if you do Java and C# and stuff like that, there's kind of like a bit more of a strict kind of naming convention with everything. But Godot, I feel like I feel like I've done so many different things. Like I don't know if I've got some good examples, because like in some places they say if it's a private, use like an underscore. But then I've seen people who do like here I don't have that, or like sometimes they'll do like a capital letter if it's this or that, and it's I just feel like everything's so inconsistent. I can't find a good. Even like the underscores, I find it's really ugly, and I have to type it underscores a lot. It's just so horrible. Right, so remove index. So remove index is going to delete the item. It's going to return the item back. So the item is the item's index. We set the item's index to null, which is what we want, and then we return the item. Yeah, I see a lot of people. Well, you could use C# with Godot. I see I don't know if you had the same experience as me when I went to download Godot. It's kind of got two huge options, and both options are like equal. It's like, do you want to use C# with the mono thing, or do you want to use GD script? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to use the C# one. I don't know if I want to use the GD script. Everyone's like, oh, use GD script. It's so easy. It's so simple. But I feel like I heard there's some problems with C#, but I feel like it will have that kind of standard, you know, programming language feel, and maybe I could use Visual Studio Code. I don't know. Yeah, it's made for it, same. And I think there's some like things that you kind of get with GD script that you don't. Yeah, it was a weird choice to make when you have no idea what's going on. So inventory here. So in the trade screen, we now have dot remove remove index, which is a terrible name actually. Let's name this better. You're a Python hater. I like that. Yeah, aren't we all? No. Remove item at index. Yeah, Python's. I've done little bits of Python, but not too much. So trade.good. So, because there's one problem with this already, which is I need to check if they've got the gold. Var trade item equals that, right? Okay. Do you want to have a little bet if this works first time? Because I can guarantee you, I feel like it might work, but at the same time, I'm not so stupid to think that that's true. Okay, it's going to complain because I don't have void everywhere or something. Okay, cool. Untyped declaration. Okay. Inventory item. I'm not having the item a child slot because then you can add values to the item itself and not just call off the child. Yeah, but so if I have the item as a child of the slot, right? So here, which I kind of do to some degree. I don't know if I actually have the item, no. But the problem is I still need a reference to the inventory. Right? So unless I pass I need a reference. I need to somehow say I have two inventories, my inventory and their inventory. I need to somehow say remove this item from this inventory and put it here. And the slot has no knowledge of the inventory. It knows its item, and it has a button to say remove this. So I need to kind of handle it somewhere that has this knowledge of both inventories, and that would be this screen. But let's have a little look, see if this even works, because it's hard to tell in Godot. I come from like Go and Rust, where the compiler just is really like very strict. Of course it doesn't work. Oh! Ha! That's okay, that's kind of funny. Ha! So it does work, it's just... I think I've clearly got the wrong way around. Okay. Right. Handle cell. Oh, okay, so I just got it the wrong way around. Yeah, I can't because I hide the... This is the problem with making the UI first, is there's only a button if there's an item. So this should work now. For fuck. Obviously, I've done it wrong again. Okay. I mean, it works in a good way. That, like, I've seen a lot worse it not working there, so I'm quite happy with that. This should work now. Watch this. Damn, that's kind of cool. What do you think? The great signal propagation. I'm telling you. But yeah, you raised an interesting point because you say the item a child of the slot, but yes, but how would you know about the other inventory? How do you handle transferring that item from the other? Try buying. Oh, this is definitely not going to work. Wait, yeah, let's have a little look what happens with that. Yeah, there's a lot of checks that I've not done. Let's give Cactus Jack 15 eggs. He seems like the kind of guy who would have 15 eggs. Right. So you have an inventory, you have a slot, and then you have the item. Right? Which is kind of what I have, even though it's just a sprite, but... let's have a little look. It's complaining that things aren't used. Propagate needs, I think. Oh, okay. Is player is never used. That's good. We don't want that. Let's clean this up a little bit. There's a Unity inventory guide. Yeah, that's what I mean. There's so many ways of doing it. It's there's many ways to skin a cat. That's the problem. But the tutorial that I followed just for the inventory here, they talk about the model view pattern. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Yeah, MVC, model view controller. It's a big C# thing, I know. But it's just basically the concept of you have the data and you have the view separately. Oh, you come from ASP. Okay. I'm not too familiar with ASP, unfortunately, but yeah, it's just how that works in the structure of my game right now is like it's a big open question. Like I'm really still in the phase where I'm trying out a few different things and kind of just seeing, how I want to structure things a little bit. This is like kind of part of that a little bit. press a dam. I mean, that kind of works a little bit. There's a few things that we need to do. So, player gold. And also has no return type. Let's get these debug things out of the way. Void. Okay. Let me find it. It's I linked it in my last video, but it's let me just find it for you. Oh, it's by MakerTech.
Hi everyone! In the next few episodes of How to Make an Action RPG in Godot 4, we will be creating a simple inventory.
Wow, it looks familiar, doesn't it?
In this first part, we will look at creating the visuals for our inventory, opening and closing the menu, and pausing the game when the inventory is open. And now let's get started. So let's add a grid container.
But yeah, where do they do it? So this is where they're making the UI, and then
add some slots to this new grid container.
Maybe, is it the next one where they make it? They have the data part to it.
Store in this array.
And this is essentially the introduction.
This
was the first time that I saw people use resources. I'm still, trying to work out. The name resource is a bit weird because it makes it think like it's like an image. And I know images are resources, but like they're also just kind of like a script file. But yeah, perhaps you could save and load them from disk, right? So if you have somebody's inventory, you can go through and save their inventory and load it from disk. So I think that's one of the reasons why they do it. And it's also quite lightweight. But yeah, I'm not saying. This is one of the problems when you follow a tutorial is they kind of go down this one path, and that's cool, but then they kind of stop, and so they get you to like the first stage, and they say like, "Oh, we're here now," but if you want to go to like stage 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 and 10, you have to kind of like go on without them, and yeah, it's like, are they doing the best practices for how I need it? I'm not sure. Yeah, this is what I copied from there, and since then I've kind of just been going crazy, like making it trade and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. How to make it work what you do. So, that's why I'm doing the trade thing right now. Is because it's like I've basically took a lot of inspiration from what they've done, but I just want to kind of try something different and try something new and start expanding on it a little bit. So, right, what do we need to do now then? So, we got the trade and it trades. That's, I guess in the insert, that's just a no op. That's not going to do anything. Oh, that's kind of buggy. That's weird, isn't it? Why did that? Why have I lost eggs? I've not lost eggs. That works okay like what? Okay, something. Because I set it to null. But why is it only the last 2 slots? Everything seems to work fine. Why is it 0 and 1? Look at your other inventory. Are you seeing something that I'm not? I know why. The slot index. The slot index wasn't set. Right, this will work. Trust me. Right. Damn, dude, I can't believe how good that egg looks. Like, I'm so happy with that. I'm gonna take a photo of that. Obviously, take it with my phone. Oh no, let's get the proper inventory back up. Hey. Nice. Yeah, there's a few things that we need to do. So now that we've got the inventory set up, at least like very basic, there's a lot of problems with this, which is we're not checking if you even have enough gold, which should be fine. But also, this is where it comes down to like the gold. There's a few things that we need to figure out here. Like with the gold, essentially. So, I think you were here when I said we have a player with a gold and a variable on the player, which is the most basic way of doing it ever. I'm just thinking, what's the best way of handling this thing? Because I have a resource with the inventory kind of stats. We can make a component for the gold. So I'm just... It's one of those ones where I feel like I could just do either way. Let's give the player some gold, actually. Let's just do... Cactus Jack. That's going to be something that's a bit more collectibles, dialogue. So it's a question of do I make having gold a component or a field of a component, or do I make it a resource that's a part of the entity essentially? So look. B, hello B. This isn't even in 200 hours. This is 34 hours and 30 minutes so far. And the reason how I did this in 200 hours is because it's not good. Or, you know, a lot of it is just, you know, a lot of it's still like really in progress. So it's not actually, I don't feel like it's a lot at all. Like every single time I do 10 hours, I look back and I'm just like, wow, I feel like I did nothing. Or I did things, but I was just like, wow, I feel like I need 500 to make this a real game. I feel like I need like 1,000 hours, like at least. That's not even with the art and stuff. Like I'm just using art off the internet right now. Right, so no, we can't do that, right? Keep that there. This is all really ugly. I think we need to refactor this later. But let's just try and go to Cactus Jack. Let's make my man Cactus Jack. I think I found a nice picture for him here. Do you have? So shall you go to make a Discord? Yes, Adam. I mean, I can make one now if it's easy enough to do. But I think that'd be cool as well, because it'd be cool if people could send me, if I could see what other people are working on as well, because it's like, it's cool, like, me showing what I'm working on, but if other people could do it, I just need to figure out how to, oh god. But yeah, it's a good idea actually, Adam. Create my own. Maybe that works. Let me just check. Can I send that? Okay, I sent twice. Okay, I just made a server. If you want to join it, that'd be cool. Oh god, now I have to actually maintain a goddamn Discord. This is a really cool idea though. Projects. Nice one, Adam. Yo, I see you. Right. Oh, nice. B as well. Damn. Commissions 3 out of 10. B, are you a graphics designer person? Do you make the art, B? Yo. Kind an artist? Well, that sounds like you're an artist to me. Yeah, you have to post some of your stuff. Nice. Coffee refill time. I'm going for. I've got green tea. Right. Let's get Cactus Jack going. Yeah, B, that's awesome. I actually have. I don't know if my game will run right now. Let's see if it'll run. I have a friend who is doing some art for me, like little bits and bobs. They're not a graphic, they're not a pixel artist, but they made the chicken. Everything that you see in to do with the farm, if you're familiar with that, is someone's drawn that for me. The fisherman was drawn by them as well. The sheep were done by them. The chicken pen, the carrots were done, and the eggs were done. Where are the eggs? There's a few things I need to change here, because I'm getting a little bit lost in all things. So yeah, they also did the eggs. So yeah, they've been doing some really good stuff with that. Oh, actually, you'll like this. I also did. Where is it? Where's my attempt? I did. That was my attempt at a building. You know, it's so hard. Like the biggest challenge I had with like this art style is the like angles of everything. So it's kind of like it's not front on. It's kind of like you see the front and you see the top, and that always really confuses me because I'm kind of used to isometric stuff. But when you see the side and the top, it just seems like a really weird way of looking at something, and I can't imagine it in my head. But that, because essentially at some point I got all this art off the internet. It's like the most common one when you see like a Godot tutorial, like 5 times out of 10, it's like this exact pack. And at one point I do want to change everything and just have everything like my own art style. And that was essentially my attempt at the blacksmith. And yeah, it's a very sad realization when you know this is what I'm capable of. And it's like, well, looks like I'm just gonna have to pay somebody, unless I start doing 200 hours of Ace Sprite, or just like get loads of stuff off the internet. But that's never gonna work out very well. So let's see what we're doing with this guy here. I think I saw a cool person earlier. Was it the monk? I mean, the monk's kind of cool. Let's go here. But yeah, that's awesome that you do like art and stuff. It's like that's kind of like the cool thing about game design is you have like the music, you have the art, you have like the story and the dialogue, and there's so many different things. There's so many different things that all kind of add up to the final thing. Right, so we've got this sprite sheet here. Especially when it comes to animations as well, like just draw the same thing like 12 times in different ways. Nice, welcome back, Adam. Yeah, B, like trying to learn Godot, like, the cool thing is you could do both of them at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same with the music actually. Oh, wrong one. So 7. So we'll just have. I think there's one him. Ugh, where's his feet? Where's his feet, man? But yeah, same with the music. In my game, like I've made music a bit before. Not that it's like any good. I made this music. Whether that's a good thing or not, I'm not sure. But I made this years ago, and then it kind of fits. Right, let's get Cactus Jack going. Right, so he's got a face now. Let's kind of close down all these folders. Oh yeah, thanks, dude. I think I made a bunch of music quite a while back, like quite a bit. But I might release, like on Open Game Art or itch.io or something. I might kind of put it out for free because I don't really use it for anything other than like bits and pieces. And if people like, if it's like a bit of a soundtrack for like a space shooter or something, people might use it. So it's like that's like the nice thing about like Godot and making games is that everybody kind of helps each other out, and it's kind of like a very communal thing, and it's just like really such a nice thing where like even like my videos and stuff, people have been like so nice and supportive about it, and it's just so crazy to me that like people just help each other and like encourage other people and stuff, and it's just like it's just really like heartwarming. Let's get to the new home. Let's get Cactus Jack on the map. Let's put Cactus Jack on the map. He's supposed to be a farmer, but I'll just put him here. Ha! He doesn't need legs if he's behind a table. Oh, love that. Okay. Let's put Cactus Jack. Wow. Wow, that's the perfect game developer tip, isn't it? Is if your characters don't have legs, just put them behind a table. It looks like they do. Oh. Okay, that looks kind of cool behind that. Right. Right. Let's just save this all. Let me just... God, I don't think I'll commit to getting a long time. Hey. God, I hope I've not committed anything in a while. Get pull. Okay, already up to date. Cool. Let's just add it all. Hey, yeah, add. Commit. Started working on Cactus Jack and trading. Send it off. Cool, we can go crazy now. Okay. Cactus Jack, he's going to need area 2D. I guess this is where, Adam, you're saying, instead of, I'm essentially adding an area 2D here to be the kind of interact area, I guess. I need to think about how we interact. So, the thing is, there's a few ways in which you interact. Like with Cactus Jack, I want to trade with him, right? But if I go to the Fat Fisherman, he's got a dialogue. So it's either do we go to dialogue and then we trade with him through the dialogue, or is there just some way that we can trade or speak to him, or is there any other interactable things? I guess it's just like general concept of interactions. Do I have many different ways of doing it, or is there only one way we interact with something and then it kind of branches out? But what would be the simplest way right now? Oh. Please don't send me to the thingy. Simplest thing right now is we just give him this. And then we start branching it out a little bit. So, this guy has an area 2D. This collision shape is pretty big. Area 2D. How did I do it for the fisherman? Oh, the fisherman, I did it in a really bad way. I did it in a super bad way in the fisherman. Like here. Got handle interaction. Ah, in the fisherman, I did it in the worst way possible. So what I'm trying to say here is in the fisherman, I have the checks on the fisherman to handle like interactions, when really I shouldn't be checking in the fisherman. I should be checking in the player and then calling a Oh, this is all. Handle attacking. Oh, this is where it's starting to get janky and crazy. Oh my god. God, I'm gonna have to really start thinking about how I structure all this, because this is the more NPCs and stuff that I'm gonna have, this is gonna get insane, especially with the player like attacking and stuff like that. Right, let's just do handle interactions here. Handle interactions. Let's go. There's some really cool things about Godot that make it super easy to do things. So this is like the thing here. Handle interactions. Interactions. Okay. Okay. So this is my player. I have a load of area 2Ds on here. A lot of these are like attacking. We've got a hitbox area. We've got a collect area. And then we also need a... typing it out instead of doing the thing. Area 2D. We need an interact area. It's a collision shape. I don't know if I even need this actually right now, but let's just go with it, and then we can kind of refactor it a little bit later. So if I do okay, yeah, this is what I want. So let me just have a little look now. This is where it's going to get complicated. So the problem is I have some code to handle attacking, which is by pressing the spacebar. And currently, the way to interact with people is by pressing the spacebar. So you attack and interact with the same thing, which is not a problem, because in my game right now, when you're attacking something, you would never be interacting. So those two things would never collide. But it's just going to make it super messy, especially how I've wrote this right now. So if the input is action pressed, we want to loop through anything that is overlapping. So this is, we've got attack area. We don't want attack area. We want got a bunch of areas here. Let's just do on ready var this is one second, sorry. This is what I was talking about naming conventions, where it's just a real mismatch right now. I've got capitalized letters here, I've got underscores here, I've got non here. Also with the I can't remember if it's like camel case or Pascal case or whatever, but it's got a bunch of these stuff. But anyway, let's get the interact area. Hey. Right, so interact area. We're going to essentially just copy this. This is one of the things that I really like about Godot, is it's so flexible in terms of if you do for interactable in interact area. If interactable has method interact, then interact with it. This is actually a better way of doing this. There's a few issues with this, so if we do to do handle multiple so this is something to think about as well, which is when we do handle interactions, if we get the spacebar, we loop through everything, and if the item within that has the interact method, we call that. But the problem is, if there's 5 things, we're going to call interact on 5 things, which is not what we want. We want to do it one by one, because we don't want to start 5 dialogues at one time. Right now, it's not too much of an issue, but it's not too much of an issue right now, but it will be. So we'll loop through everything, and we'll see if it's got a method called interact. Then a cactus jack. Let's add the interact method. He doesn't do any of this sort of stuff. Oh, nice one, Adam. Yeah, thank you for doing that. You know, I'm up here anyway, so we're all good. Oh wow, you got the paint out. That's when you know it's serious, isn't it? You know it's serious when you got the paint out. I'll have a little look at that later, but okay. So I've added an interact function onto this guy. And what I want to do is, when I interact with him, I want to create a trade thing. He's going to get on Visio, go full-blown ERD, but lazy and quit. I mean, to be honest, like, you know, you got to respect. When you see something diagrammed out in Paint, you've got to respect it. You know. So, yeah. Nice one. But, yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah, I'll have to have a little look at that a bit later on. But yeah, it's good to have different ideas and stuff. It's been really, really helpful just to, you know, have different ideas and see how things work out. Like now, I thought I knew what I was doing, but I've kind of hit a roadblock, which is it's Cactus Jack. He needs an inventory. He's gonna have a hard-coded inventory because he is that important. Do we have an inventory here? Oh, we export the inventory. Okay. Okay. So in new home, where Cactus Jack is, and I think we have to put him in here. This man is gonna have an inventory, right? Where is he? Cactus Jack. Save that bad boy. Come on. Hey. Save. It's complaining about that. I've got so many files. I'm gonna have to go through and delete some of these because I don't use a lot of these folders. Right. It's Cactus Jack. My man's here, hiding behind the table. Inventory. Here we go. Here we go. Cactus Jack inventory. Okay. Right. He's got an inventory. I've got an inventory. Now, all we need to do is we need to initiate a trade screen. Okay. time to touch inventories. That's exactly what we need to do. But I feel like... But how do we touch is the important thing, you know? How do you touch inventories is the important thing. He has an inventory. I have an inventory. What more do we need? We need the touching inventory screen. I'm stuck. So let's interact. Can we just... Let me just think about this for a little while. So this is the problem, which is Cactus Jack, he has a function called interact, and that's fine because I want to interact with him. But the trade screen is essentially almost like a global, or not global, but Cactus Jack doesn't know about the trade screen, does he? He just kind of like he just interacts. What would be the easiest way of doing this? Trade scene setactive. What does setactive mean? Oh, set active. Wait, is this a function? I just googled set active. Jesus Christ. Because set process function. Show hide, set disabled. So I guess one way is, oh, we've got it on the trade screen actually. Wait, we've got it in here. Okay, 1 second. So if I go up here. Eh? Where is it? Where's the trade screen? Why is it all the way up there? Got the hood. Trade screen layout. Let's go center. Okay. So show and hide it, right? Okay, let's offset there. I'm gonna hide that. Yeah, but so we can show and hide it, but how does... So, for example, I have this function on Cactus Jack to interact with him, and that's fine, because maybe it could be like dialogue or something like that. But I need to initiate a trade. But how would Cactus Jack, unless I set it as a global, I can set it as like a global variable, or a global, like a singleton. But I feel like that's a little bit janky. Like that'd be the easiest way, I guess, is have a or I could even like go to the screen, but I want to. Can I just get tree and just add? Can I just do that? I need a reference, and this is maybe not the best way of doing it, but I do have some globals flying around somewhere. Singletons. So I have state, I have global.gd. But I feel like just having a global variable is just a bit janky. Like, unless I think I maybe know what I could do. I think I know exactly what I could do, and it's called the Great Signal Propagation. And that is, we have a signal on Cactus Jack called signal start trade. And then when we interact with him, we'll do start trade dot emit. I can even pass through the inventory actually. Wow, is there anything that... is this a script? Damn, is there anything that signals can't do? Right. So new home, we're ready. Okay. Oh, look, I already did it. So we can have Cactus Jack. I feel like this is. I don't think this is. Oh, I don't think this is bad. It's definitely one way of doing it, isn't it? But CJ equals a node equals. The only problem with this is that for every single vendor, I'd have to hook up and hook into their thing. So CJ dot where is he? Connects, and then we could do on start trade. Okay. Do on. But the crazy thing is, if it's stupid and it works, is it stupid? But at some point it might be a little bit. So what we could do here, we could do trade screen as well. So we do on ready var trade screen, which is a node as well, I guess, equals. Let's turn that to visible, and then so when we start the trade, we could do trade screen dot visible true. Ooh, no, I think right, this is a little bit janky, but I think we might just be able to get away with it. We'll be able to get away with it for now, at least. So go to the trade screen. And we could do func start trade, and then this is where we pass through the inventory. Although we might need a bit more than that with gold, but let's do this first. So player Tory vendor inventory. Okay, let me just copy this. We actually don't need what's going on? What have I missed? Oh, it's semicolons. So play him. Okay. Right. let's type this out properly now. Player inventory, like that. We do vendor inventory. We'll press Q3. Cool. Process. We don't need that. I think we actually don't need this at all either. I don't need the rate. This is only if I want to test it, but we don't need to test it anymore. We're going production. Player inventory. God's sake. I didn't like the fact that everything's named the same thing. Okay. Oh no. That was all wrong. Okay. Player inventory. Okay. Yeah, I don't. This is a little bit janky, but it's getting a little. It's getting slowly. It's getting a little bit better. So. That should work. Let's find out. Oh, you bastard. Yo. Right. I know why. I think maybe. It's an area. I've said it. It's looking for bodies. Also, if I do visible collision shapes, let's have a look. Okay. Right. So I'm guessing it's not finding it because in the player script, I'm looking for bodies when I should be looking for areas. Dot get overlapping areas. Okay, let's try that. Fuck. Right, let's do some debugging. So, if input action pressed, so handle interactions. If input, I don't know if this makes any difference. The fact that it was indented, maybe it does. For interact area, get overlapping errors. Interact. Okay, so let's just do print 1, and then in Cactus Jack, let's do print 2, and let's see where the code's getting up to. We're getting to 1, but it's not getting to 2. Okay. So it's not getting to this for some reason. I have my suspicions why, but let's have a little look first. Let's check how long I've been doing this for. 2.5 hours. Okay. Okay, I think I know why. So we need to do Well, I don't think I know why, but if interactable has interact, it is called interact. I think I know why, which is this is an area 2D, but Cactus Jack is a body, and the interact option is on the body, so I need to change my player so his interact area is bigger. That kind of small. Let's do that. I think this might work. Oh, it didn't work, but we had loads of errors. Oh, start trade. Okay, start trade.emit. Method expected 0 arguments. Error calling from signal. Start trade to callable node 2D. New home. Oh, okay. Cool. I'm just not handling the signal properly here. Okay. So do we have a player? Nope. Let's do onReady var player node equals player equals where is my player. My player is this man right here. Player 3. Comment out something annoying. Yeah, maybe I should remove that. Okay, so this needs to have the issue is that the signal passes an inventory. So here we go, vendor inventory. We enable the trade screen, and we do trade screen dot start trade. Start trade, we pass through the player inventory and pass through the vendor inventory. So is this the best way of handling this? Probably not, to be honest, but it is one way of handling it, which sometimes is good enough for me. Player dot inventory, and then we do vmv. Okay, that's got a chance of working. Oh, okay. Invalid get index. We don't have an inventory over there. Is it not capitalized? Okay, yeah. It's not capitalized. Classic. This is gonna work. Hey! Oh my god. Right, and let's buy all his eggs. Let's buy all of his eggs. Exit. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. Right. Oh my god, signal item traded is already connected to a given callable. Oh my god, the propagate's back. Ah, why? Am I doing this? I think I'm doing this incorrectly. So the problem here is that I'm reusing the same screen, essentially. So I have the trade screen, and then I'm opening it, and then destroying it. Okay, I know what I need to do. There's a few ways. Either we don't destroy it and we just set it to visible, which I think will be the easiest way right now. So on button pressed, we just do visible equals false, and that might be just enough. But I think we might want to destroy it. So the problem with the trade screen is that we start this trade screen. We start the trade screen, and then all the slots, they have all these signals connected up. And when it's finished, if we just make it visible, when we're finished, if we just make it invisible, all the signals are still there. So I don't know if you have to do some sort of cleanup. Yeah, Adam, I'll give you 1 second. I'll have a little look. Right, so it's buy all his eggs. Exit. Oh my god, it kind of just works. At least for one vendor. Exit. Just sell all my carrots. Damn, I mean, I don't know, that's... It works. See, you're doing a few things there, Adam, which is interesting. So you have marker 2Ds, which I just don't see them very often. Let's have a look. So this is what I was talking about, making a scene. I'll quite show this. It's not. There's nothing actually on here. This is what I was talking about, making a scene of player inventory and a scene of vendor inventory, and then creating a trade scene with markers that will call the player and vendor inventory. And then when you interact with an NPC and start trade, it'll pull it in. There's NPC. Okay. Oh, so you mean so with the trade screen, which is the area 2D, we have the player inv and we have the vendor inv. And so the player inventory and the vendor inventory are two separate scenes, essentially. With markers, I'm not familiar with marker 2D. So have a little look. Marker 2D, generic 2D position hint for editing. It's just like a plain node 2D, but it displays a cross in the 2D editor at all times. Okay. You set the thingy. Okay, making a scene of a player inventory and a scene of vendor's inventory, and then creating a trade scene with the markers that will call the player and vendor inv. And then when you interact with an NPC and start trade, it will pull the NPC's inventory. Okay. And so, okay, I get you. So what's the difference? What's the difference with doing it like this? So we've got vendor inv, but I feel like I've kind of got that. I've just kind of done it in code a little bit, right? So, oh god, I've got so many errors. What the hell? Okay. Uh-oh, it doesn't like that, does it? God damn it. Ah, I've got 3,000 errors. That's not too bad. Still works. You have the logic of how it works. Yeah. No, I wouldn't, because look, like, you have to make trade scene for every NPC. No, because what I'm doing right now is this is where I start it. So what I could do here, I've got essentially got, this is where we initiate the trade. So we could pass through the vendor inventory. So what I could have, say for example, this is Cactus Jack, right? So we have Cactus Jack, and we have Cactus Jack 2, and Cactus Jack 3. And I'm not saying this is the best way to do it, but say for example we have 3 NPCs, here I essentially just have to hook up each NPC, and then it will pull their inventory, if that makes sense. Because the trade screen isn't linked to the NPC. It's linked to the player, because the player is going to be the same, at least right now. But when we do start trade, we have to pass through the vendor inventory, and then it will load it. So it's like a similar way. It's just it's a similar way. It's just you've made it a node rather than I have made a generic thing that you pass in through code. Yes. You have to hard code it in. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, if we do it where it's a node, we still have to make the node. So it's like, to me, to me it's like both ways we have to set something up. Okay. But if you create a new NPC with my way, you just have an area entered that would draw the logic automatically. Whereas your way, have to make a new char, you have to put it in. Yeah. I know what you're saying. You're essentially saying this Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah, that's like I think that's the next step. Is how do I make it so I'm not hard coding like the things together, and that would be like probably the component essentially. Right. Yeah. That's no, yeah, I understand what you're saying now. It's essentially turning not this into a component, but having a vendor. No, I know what you mean now. I mean, once you've explained it a little bit, I know what you're trying to say now. It's and that's kind of what I want. Is I kind of want something you can just drag and drop, so you can drag and drop like a vendor node onto something, and then you don't have to code it up. But I need to think about how that looks in my head a little bit. So many open questions. It's one of those things, isn't it? Because even if I have it as a node on the thing, like how would I get around? Let's say, for example, here, would I still need to initialize it and hook it up? You know? Or maybe I don't need to initialize it and hook it up. I can, yeah. This is definitely a problem. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point, 'cause it's obviously it's like a little bit of a problem when you get to this point and if you have like 20 vendors, you have to hook up 20 of them, which is, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. Like sometimes doing this is actually okay, but there's no right or wrong way. Yeah, that trade scene then could also work as a storage node. Also, if you get in range of a chest, yeah, trade screen could be just inventory interactable. Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. And you have one system that does the job of three things: trading, banking, and if you want to put carrots into a box. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing, isn't it? Yeah, this is kind of like the stage that I'm at with Godot a little bit. Is I'm starting to understand things, and now it's just kind of like, okay, how do I make this scale to like 20 NPCs now? I think one of the next big things for me, I've kind of like avoided this a little bit so far, is how do I kind of like scale things up a bunch? The thing is that you have the hard part of the logic, and now is the way to expand it into exactly, and that's kind of like why I do it like this, is because it's a lot easier once you kind of know what you're doing and know how it works. It's a lot easier to go, okay, let's just move this into let's just move this all into like its own node that you can drag and drop onto things, and then just write a nice little function of handling like a generic kind of like a generic thing. But it's it's in my head. I was just thinking, do I do it like composition, or do I do it more like inheritance? So do I have a base class? Do I have a base entity, and then I can expand on a base entity and have like a vendor entity, or like, you know? But I think composition works a little bit better here because, like you said, like if you have chests or if you have like a bank or something like that. You don't want a bank and all these things to kind of be the same class, do you? So yeah, that's a good idea. It's I played around with components a little bit, but it's so sometimes if you go a bit too crazy trying to like abstract it, you kind of lose what you're trying to do. So inventory would be inheritance, but the interactable would be composition. Yeah. Okay. So you want the logic and data of the items to go to the slot in the inventory. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to have a little go and think about this, to be honest, because I'm not gonna lie, my head is absolutely destroyed right now. It's hard when you're coding and talking and thinking at the same time. It's like I'm hardly even used to one of those. But right, I'm gonna go, guys, because let's see how far I've done so far. Let's see how long I've been doing this. Two hours and 41 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna jump off, but I'll probably be back on maybe like Thursday or something. I've got a lesson tomorrow in the evening, so I can't jump on. But yeah, thanks for showing up, Adam. Thanks for all like the like working through it with me, man. Like you have to show me some of the things that you've been doing in the Discord and stuff. But yeah, dude, it's been a pleasure, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. But cool. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you in Discord. Nice one, dude. Right. I'll see you later, bro. Enjoy your time.